All right. It says we're live, so I hope we are. Welcome to Rick's Life as I See It. You know, from the crossroads of America. What more can I say? It's been hot and muggy this last few days. Oh man, summer is here. And we've had the odd thunder shower that wasn't in the forecast, but because of the heat and humidity, they just show up out of the middle of nowhere. I mean, scares the shit out of you. All of a sudden, like I'm sitting in the house, I'm not looking at the sky. All of a sudden, kaboom! A big, you know, thunder, lightning. Then it pours down and rain for about 5 minutes. Then everything's steaming and the humidity's back worse than what it was. Oh man, I love summer. So and so I'm just sitting here seeing if anybody's going to show up on the panel. You know, I'm hoping they will, but you never know. But if they don't, that's fine too. So, anyway, there we go. I'm waiting for people to come in. We got, let's see who we got first in the chat room tonight was Kingpin, then Tactical Fud, then Raphael, Jacob S., Shady Hill Homestead, Chris from the 740. Was that Lee one guy? Is that how you pronounce it? I always get it wrong. Okay. I'm just finished the list there, and we have a panelist showing up. So let me introduce, without further ado, New York Outcast. How you doing?
Doing well, thanks. Sorry I'm late trying to finish pizza. Was trying to get it done before he started, but I wasn't able to do it. So still working on it, but thanks
Yeah,
for the invite.
your camera's off, so nobody's seeing you eat. You know what I'm saying? So keep on munching.
Cool. Don't want him to get jealous.
I'm eating. I'm doing some burgers after the podcast show or whatever you call it. I'm not sure. Um, they got the new rules now. Started yesterday. Am I allowed to have my gun hanging on the wall on YouTube, or am I uh, a bad influence? I don't know. I guess we're gonna. I guess we're gonna have to go woke. I guess. You know, it's pitiful. It really is. So, but anyway, all we can do is keep doing what we're doing and see what happens. Basically, is the way I look at it.
I have no idea what the new rules are, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, it's we already know you can't show any ghost guns whatsoever. You know all this stuff, but they're restricting it. Not only anything new, but anything that you've done in the past is going to be. It will have. They're putting. Basically, if it's got a firearm in it, it's going to have parental controls. That if you're under 18, it's not going to show up on your feed because you're influencing the kids that guns are bad. No, that's what they want to do by restricting us. You know, it's making the next generation of kids, believe guns are bad. That's the way I look at it. But what the hell do I know? I live out here in the sticks. You know. Anyway, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna got my Winchester 22 there. I'm testing it tomorrow to see if and I got to tweak the scope any, and but I'm not gonna be out there for hours. It's too goddamn hot. I'm going early in the morning while it's still a little bit cooler, and you know, fire maybe, I don't know, one. I think it holds 16 rounds. I think in the tube. So if I can't sight it in with 16 rounds, I might as well give the guns away. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm doing that tomorrow. I've what else have I done? I've been messing around in my gun room, whatever you want to call it. I was scouring the internet looking for cheap containers that I can like put brass in and stuff like that, etc. And I'm thinking, do I want to look nice or do I want to be practical? So instead of wasting money on plastic containers, I mean, I've got this one's chicken livers. My friend that used to live here, she liked chicken livers. But I got the container, so I'm going to start using that. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I'm saving my containers like that. I got those big butter container things here. I thought, hell, I'll use those instead of wasting money. Just to, Rob's a bad influence on me. I'm being frugal now.
Wait. You're not just being frugal, but you're helping to save the planet.
Yeah. I didn't want to seem too woke. So.
It's always nice to have things looking pretty, nice organization systems and whatnot, but yeah, depending on, what you're doing, situation, there's a lot of stuff that we throw away that you could repurpose. So
yeah. I mean, like I took the for years I used a what do you call them? Sort of like an end table that goes at like if you have a couch and you have a table on each end. I call them end tables. I don't know what the correct word for them is. I had that in here for years as my workbench, but now I actually got this plastic workbench I've had for years. I washed it down the other day and brought it in here. It's longer, so I can get this tipped-in gun vise on there. It's long enough to fit on there now. So, I've been making I've been doing a lot in here the last few days. I've done more reloading, but you can't even do videos of that. Well, that was already one of the new rules. Not this time, the time before. But I was watching a reloader the other day. And as he said, you cannot show start to finish on how to load a cartridge. So he was talking about it, and he said he was showing people how. He said, "I'm going to show you how I load 9mm." From start to finish, he goes from picking the brass up to cleaning it, doing the whole works. But what he did was he split the video into two. He had a part 1 and a part 2. So he never actually completed a full build in any of the videos. So technically, that should pass YouTube's test. Where he only just done this. Was it last week or the week before? So I'll have to see if I can. I didn't save his channel, so I got to go into my library and see if I can find it and see if he mentions it, whether they, demonetized him or not over it. But I thought it was a pretty smart idea, really. Just split it in two is what they're going to do. But you can't, we know you can't show guns anymore. I can't sit here with a gun in my hand. That's not allowed because that's influencing young children. That guns are dangerous. What a crock of shit. But there we go. What else have I done? What's this? Yeah. As I was saying before you got here, it's hot and humid. It's been rough. I think it was up to 93 today, and it said feels like 99. We haven't hit the feels like over 100 yet, but as I said, summer's here. Even though summer's not officially into, I believe it's the 22nd, it's the longest day this year of June. So I think that's this Sunday, Saturday or Sunday. And hey, Gizza Gary, yeah, you're late. I didn't, you didn't ask me to hold on. I would have if you sent me a message. But yeah, so I forgot what I was talking about. Damn, I'm getting in my old age, I'm getting worse. Oh.
The temperature, maybe?
What?
I know you were speaking of it's hot and the temperature. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the longest day is the start of summer, which is the summer solstice. So let me have a look. I think it's the 22nd. June. No, it's Saturday, I believe. So starting Sunday, winter is on its way because the days start getting shorter. Starting Sunday, the 23rd. It might only be a couple of seconds, but as time goes on, the days get shorter and shorter. So don't despair out there when you're sweating going, oh my God. Just think, after Sunday, winter's on its way. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Keep you all happy. Oh, there was something else I was going to talk about. And I forgot what in the hell it was again. This one I didn't write down because I only just thought about it. Well, I hope it might not have been important if I can't remember. So, I tell you what, I'm not sure if you can show magazines on here or not, but my magazines for my 380. I carry a spare in my pocket. I just throw it in my pocket like this, and I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks now, thinking, that ain't. Normally, when I'm wearing my vest, I have it sitting inside in my top pocket with nothing else in there, But this is in my pocket with my loose change and my pocket knife and shit. So I had some. The brand name is Remora. It's sort of like it's like one of those sticky holsters. There's nothing on it. I can stick it in my waistband and it won't move because of the material it's made out of. I actually got a couple of these that I actually had them for my 45, my M&P, but I got it. It didn't go exactly as planned because it says you can resize them. Use a hair dryer, heat them up, then put them in the new shape. Then once you got that done, stick them in the freezer for 5 minutes, and it should reshape to the thing. Well, I've got it almost to the shape. It's still a little loose, so I might do it again tonight. Do it a bit tighter, you know. Then I put that in my pocket. I feel safer that it's going to stay cleaner. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get, because I mean, I took these bullets out the other day, and there's bits of fluff coming out of the magazine, and little bits of, for lack of a better word, dirt and shit from my pocket, and I thought that ain't too good. So, see, I'm on this thing. I didn't want to buy new. I didn't want to buy new magazine holders for these 380. I'm trying to get frugal and use what I got, just like my tubs. Okay. I don't know. It's taken 67 years, but maybe I'm finally getting it. So. Yeah, what was that other thing I was going to talk about? I did. I was watching a YouTube thing on the feed. This is part of the primer. It's called safety primer, something I think Lee calls it. Where when that goes, no, of course I didn't have it sitting in there right. This when that goes back up, you push this on here, and it puts a primer in here. So then when you go down, it loads the new primer in there. Well, not all the time, but occasionally the primer wouldn't sit in there straight. It would flip sideways. Real pain in the ass. Then you go to try to straighten it, and it falls out of there and onto the floor, and that kind of shit. So I'm watching hell, it was about 5 years ago, I think, this YouTube video I saw, but it explained how to take this thing apart in this thing here that you press, and it's just got a plastic sort of like spring in there. It's a piece of plastic that's stretched out, and when you press this, it presses it in. So he shows how to take this apart without breaking it, and he says what you want to do. He says get this piece here, stick a 1/4-inch bolt, sort of like push it on there to spread out the plastic. He said then drop it in a couple boiling water for 5 minutes. Then tip it out and let it to cool naturally. And what it does, of course, it stretches it. So I done all that, so the gap is bigger now. So it's a bit firmer when you press this. I used it the other day. I didn't have one issue with it now. So I don't know if that's coincidence or that little little tidbit I found on the internet worked. So hey, I'm just rambling on here, with just talking about what's going on with me. But if anybody's got any questions or anything, or got any topics, they're they can do shit. Oh, it looks like I'm sitting a bit lower, I think. Either I knocked the camera, but my chair, the what in the hell you call it? The thing that makes the chair go up and down?
Yeah.
Yeah, my fat ass broke this one. So it's right down on the ground now. Almost. So hang on a second. I forgot something. I'll be right back. I'm just walking into the other room. Yeah, so so the old chair is broken. I talked to my friend the other day, and I was going to buy a new one, but a new chair is around cheap. I mean, they're around $100 average, you know. And I called him up because he works at St. Vincent's, where people donate stuff they don't want and they resell it. And I said, "You got any chairs?" He said, "Yeah." I told him what I was looking for. He said, "I don't have one like that." But he said, I said, "There's no rush." I said, "Keep your eye out for one." I said, "Make sure it's heavy duty because I'm a big guy, you know, because there's no point getting another chair like this and in 3 months, the bottom of that one falls out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not made to hold my kind of weight. Because I noticed that most of these chairs only hold maybe 275 is what they're rated for, you know. And now they do hold a lot more than that. But if it goes, you can't send it back unless you can prove that you weigh less than 275 pounds. I would imagine. I mean, I found one on the internet. It says it holds up to 800 pounds. Well, I'm not that big, guys, nowhere near. But I say, well, that's the kind of chair I need. That is, it won't collapse on me and break. But that one was $150. And I'm thinking, damn. So I asked him to look out for one. I said, "How much?" He said, $10. So he said, "If I find one, $10." So even if he doesn't get me a heavy duty one per se, but gets one I like, I mean, this one here has fixed arms on it. I want arms that I can move up and down. That's what I'm looking for. So if he gets me one that's not heavy duty rated for $10, I'll take the chance. So
It's hard to beat a $10 deal.
what?
So it's hard to beat a $10 deal,
Oh yeah,
especially
you're
if
absolutely right.
it's not stolen or nobody's going to be hunting you down for it. Sounds like a good deal.
Oh yeah.
Wish I could find one for $10 because my chair does the same thing. So
Yeah.
I can push the lever and have it pop up and sit there. But I assume if I was to sit in there for 4 or 5 hours, something like that, I'd probably be bottomed out. So
Yeah. Well,
basically, I gotta reset it every time I get in the dang thing.
Yeah. Well, this one, the lever doesn't even work. It's permanently bottomed out. That's why I'm sitting so low here.
So you blew the seals right out of it, huh?
Yeah, I guess I did.
Are you sure you weren't doing anything crazy in that chair?
No. This is I know what it is. Instead of lowering myself, I have a bad habit. Once I'm almost ready to see, I just drop myself in it. And I said, if it's not rated for the big guys like me, it can only take that so much. Plus, like when I get up, I use my hands on the armrests and push up to get up because it's so low. And I'm thinking that must put a lot of pounds per square inch of pressure on the damn thing too. So if it was higher, I mean, like my recliner I sit in, I actually have it on a 4-foot square. 4 foot, not 4 foot square, a 4 foot by 2.5 foot heavy duty wood, and it's about, so it takes it about 6. Is it 4? might be 4 or 5 inches higher. And so it's the right height. So I can stand right on up without having to use my arms. And that leads me into this other story. I got mail the other day, and a big thick envelope, and it's from my doctor's office. I said, "What in the hell is this?" So I opened it up. I got an appointment on July 2nd, my 3-monthly visit where he checks my, blood work for my A1C for my diabetes and stuff like that. And that's normally what he goes, "How you doing?" "I'm doing great." He draws my blood and off I go. But they said this thing now, Medicare wants my doctor to do a wellness test, or a wellness checkup, I think is what they called it. And they sent me this questionnaire. I'm thinking, well, I'm looking at the questions. It's all about, your father alive, dead, if he's dead, what did he die of, and this kind of shit. I said, they know all that stuff. I filled all that out when I first came here 6 years ago. But anyway, I played along with it. But where I'm getting to it come to the page where it says, "Do you feel depressed? 1 day, 2 days, or longer? Or not at all?" And I checked, not at all. Every question was they keep wording it, but it still meant the same thing. They're trying to find out, see if they're mentally stable. Can you handle your own money, or do you have to have somebody to help you? That was a question on there. I thought, damn. Oh, one of them on there was talking about the arms. Do you use your arms or hands to get in and out of a chair? Oh no, do you need to use your hands to get in and out of a chair? And it was either a yes or no question. I said, so I put, no, I don't. But I wanted to say, I do use my hands to get myself out of the chair. Doesn't mean I don't, it makes life easier by using my hands. But I don't have to, but they're trying to trick you, or am I being too paranoid?
I don't know. I mean, they're being invasive, I guess, in some sense. But with questions like that, I personally would have checked both boxes. And if they had any questions, and it depends on the height of the chair. If it's a damn kid's chair, then of course I would. It just all depends on the height of whatever. So
anyway, I mean, I can understand to a certain degree because I'm on Medicare. That means I'm over a certain age. How many times have I fallen down at all this year? If I have, how many times? Questions like that. Do you use your furniture around the house to steady yourself as you walk? They had questions like that in there. Are they trying to get me in an old people's home?
Maybe they're looking for ways to justify having somebody from the state take over your finances and give you an allowance.
Yeah, then they come and take my guns next. Because if somebody from the state is taking after your finances, they put you on the prohibited list. That's what that's what they were fighting. Was it last year or the year before? I think it went through that they slipped it in on one of those other kind of bills that had nothing to do with firearms, but they slipped it in, sign it, then read it later type deals. So, maybe I am getting too paranoid in my old age. But
I don't know. I tend not to volunteer a lot of information, and if questions aren't relevant, I usually just don't even fill them out with things. So
Yeah, there was some questions on there about some stuff. I just left them blank. I thought none of your goddamn business.
yeah,
You know?
I just some of the stuff is ridiculous. I mean, same thing like if you're applying a job or something like that. Sometimes higher packets and stuff, they'll have some crazy stuff. So
Yeah.
all this new modern wokeness crap, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
They get credits, I guess, for hiring people that are like, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
Different stuff and there. So it seems like they try to pin everybody in a way where they can get the most out of you somehow, some
Yeah.
way. So.
I mean, I think this wellness checkup or whatever they're doing is just a way for the doctor's office to get money out of Medicare. Because they're the ones paying for it. But what I did put a smart ass answer on one of them in the blog. It said, "What medication do you take?" All right, and said, "What medication do you take?" And I wrote in there, "You got it on file already. Why do you need me to write it down for again?" That's how I filled it out. So they're going to get mad at me for that one, but. I said, I ain't writing out all goddamn 10 different medications I take. All they got to do is go on their computer and they have it right in front of them, bastards. But anyway, we got another panelist. Long time no see. Guns and Barbecue. How you doing?
Was that a blind joke? I feel like it's a blind joke. Not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. I'm not doing too bad. How about yourself? Hanging in there? Talk to me.
Yeah, not doing too bad.
Okay. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we can hear you. So that's another nice thing I like is I said I can walk in and out of here when I want. I can leave my door open again like I used to. And it's a lot cooler in here now. I got the AC on, but with the door shut, this room with me sitting here and the machines running, it gets warm. But now with the door open 24/7, the cool air circulates in here. It's quite nice actually now. So has its advantages being single again. Oh, Tony said, what is this questionnaire? From my doctors. They said it's something to do with Medicare, a wellness checkup. And I said they sent me this thick questionnaire with all kinds of shit on it. Basically, I only answered what I wanted them to know. I thought none of your goddamn business. Because I know it's a way to get me on some goddamn list or something, or take something away from me. But maybe I'm being paranoid. I don't know. So,
I think it's sad that you feel that way, but you're probably smart too, at least in my opinion. But you got to be careful with these questions and whatnot. But it'd be nice if people were able to answer honestly. The whole depression thing. Yeah, everybody's been depressed. Everybody's had a bad couple days or a rut or whatever. But if you put that down there, they're gonna want you talking to a head doctor, trying 20 different pills, this and that.
yeah.
Maybe the problem. Do you feel like you want to hurt yourself? All this stupid shit. Like we've all had bad days. Like if you've never been depressed, then you probably got a mental issue. So I don't know. You're on drugs or something's going on. So it's kind of sucks that it's gotten to this point where even if you did or were honest, it would possibly open up a can of worms or something.
See, that's what I'm afraid of. Next thing you know, I have somebody knocking on my door and say, "Oh, this is a court-appointed person who's going to take care of your finances from now on."
It'll deter people that maybe are on the edge or struggling a little bit from actually saying anything. So
Exactly.
it's
I
just
mean,
making problems worse the
yeah,
way they go about it.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It will scare people from actually answering it honestly, I think. Unless they don't think like I do. You know, I don't, I worked for the federal government, right, for years. I know what they're like. And I was on a different totally level to all the stuff. I mean, I worked in a goddamn supermarket on base, but it was still governmental, and it still had all that bullshit, backstabbing, lying through their teeth, all kinds of shit. It was all political, get places and shit. Fuck that, you know. So I'm very, very suspicious of the government. We got too much government right now, way too much, and unfortunately, the government never gets any smaller ever. So, not that I can recall, you know. Yeah, some agency might lay off a few hundred employees, but I'm talking about a good example is like I just take the FBI for instance. Say we don't really need them, or those alphabet agencies do all the secret shit. Do we need 15 different types to do the same goddamn job? Get rid of one of those, a few of those to save millions of dollars. But it never happens. Once the government has implemented something, it stays forever. From what I can tell. And I just don't trust the government. And the old what's his name? I can't think of his name now. The guy with the bulldozer. He ran through town because he got tired of people fucking with him.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Killdozer. They call it his bulldozer that he put armor plating around it.
Yeah.
So. Oh yeah. And to me, that sounds like what everybody needs to do. But
everybody's got limits. I mean,
yeah,
one thing we can choose is when we make a stand or how we decide to go out. So, not encouraging anything bad, but I think justice is sometimes needed. Sometimes people need a punch in the face. Yeah, so I guess easier way to say it. So.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. It's yeah. So so I'm looking to see what I got written down here. I think we covered a lot of mine. I wrote a lot of these topics all into my one conversation I had at the beginning. Yeah. Let's see. I said I was going to cite my 22 in. I talked about that. Talked about carrying my magazine in my pocket. I just figured having that magazine covered is better than just having it in my pocket loose. See, that's why I got to redo it, because the magazine can still slip out of it. It's got the right shape now. I just got to get it tight to hold it in there. And I think that's going to work. I used it in my pocket today. It's comfortable, and when I pulled it out and I looked at it and I took all the bullets out of it earlier. There was no dirt or fluff or anything in it, so it's doing its job. That's what I wanted. So got that. I'd fixed my primer. I told about that. The weather, talked about that. My plastic containers, talked about that. YouTube and their new rules, fuck them. I'm just going to keep doing what I do and try to follow it the best I can. If they snag me for something, oh well. You know, it's the way I look at it. Why shouldn't you think you should be here, Tony? You know? Oh, this will be another fucking list. Yeah, my list here is for my topics, so I can remember to keep on some sort of track of what I'm doing. But my first item on here, I wrote that down last week. Actually, it says totally off topic. Do you believe in the paranormal? I was hoping maybe we're getting more panelists, you know. And oh, okay, Tony. Yeah, if you're not on a list, you ain't doing your job right. Is the way I look at it. So yeah. So my question, I was going to talk about. I thought that I know that's not guns, but I'm trying to stay within the confines of what YouTube says we can talk about. We can't talk about guns. So I thought, well, let's talk about the paranormal.
You can talk about guns. What do you mean you can't talk about guns?
Well, you can, but you can't. You can talk. You can talk.
Yeah, you just can't show a gun. You can't handle a gun live. You can handle a gun in a video that's not live. You know.
But no, there's limits on that now. That's what I was trying to tell you. Even on pre-made videos, they've got limits on that. Some of those.
Right. You're talking. You said ghost guns.
Not
so
ghost guns, yeah.
That's like a fraction of a percent of guns in general.
The way the anti-gunners are talking, that's all. I mean, from 2016, where they maybe got 18 of them in a year, to last year, where they recovered something like 9,000 guns on the streets of New York that were ghost guns. You know. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think talking about guns is going to be a problem. So.
Well, you see, but what they're eventually going to do is, I mean, me, I don't care. I'm not that big anyway. But some of the bigger channels, right? It's going to have it won't in the algorithm when it shows. Right now, it doesn't show many videos, you know, the recommendations for you to watch. Well, now they're going to put, you know, you got to be over 18 to watch these videos. You know, and there's nothing wrong with them, which I think is totally asinine. You know? So, but they do that now anyway. But they've been doing it for years now. They do ask you when you're setting up to go live, is this made for children or not? You know? So, I don't know. It just seems fishy that all of a sudden this is, you know, they come up with this new idea because the anti-gunners and the government's got his new anti-gun department now in the White House and all this shit. You know, it's just and you see what they tried to do yesterday? Oh, I know I don't like talking politics, but it really pissed me off that Schumer, being the majority leader, tried to slip through, but it had to be a unanimous vote to ban bump stocks. You know, because it was kicked out. Supreme Court said ATF overstepped their limits of what they're allowed to do. So you can't, ATF couldn't ban them. Only Congress can. So he thought, well, let's vote on it and ban them. You know, and only one, from what I can tell, only one senator, Republican senator, stood up and said, no, I vote no. And that means it died, you know, but they can bring it up again, you know, because the way the way the Democrats worded their new bill that they were trying to get through this way was it would ban the bump stocks, everything that the ATF has done in the last couple of years, with rewriting the rules and definitions. They threw that all in this, all in this bill in the small print, like the braces, the bump stock, and all. I think the ghost guns were in there too, what they call ghost guns, but 80% and all that shit. They were trying to throw that all in there for all of it to get banned. And if Congress says yes, then it's legal. It's banned. And this one senator said, no, I ain't voting for that. If it was just the one item, like you claim it is, then it's a different story. But he said, you're sliding all this shit in there. So it fell this time, but I don't know how long they can hold it off. I mean, personally, myself, I don't give it. We've had this discussion since Trump started that. I mean, first thing that's the one thing I didn't like about him was when he done that bump stock thing. But he was listening to the NRA. They're the ones that said do it. But I knew when he done it and asked them to change the definition, he opened Pandora's box. And the Democrats have been using it to their advantage the whole time, the last 3.5 years. But there we go. I just, I don't know. I have never seen anything that I would consider evidence of paranormal. You haven't, Tony? I find that, I mean, I've seen stuff that I can't explain. I really can't. I think I told this story on here years ago when I was working for the government at RAF Wethersfield. It was an old fighter jet, Spitfires and shit from the Second World War. It was an old base and it had old buildings on there. Where I worked was a converted Quonset hut. Is that what you guys call? The round metal ones, with the metal roofs and like that. It was a big. I mean, there was two of them pushed together, and that was the commissary. It was old, but we had a warehouse that we stored stuff in, which used to be the old hospital from way back when. And one night, it was coming late afternoon. I had to go over there and get something. And it was always locked up. You had to go to the office to get the key, and only certain people were allowed to get it. The government, and you had to sign the key out. Nobody had signed the key out that day. Because I went back and looked after this. I went there and unlocked it, walked in, flipped the lights on, and down the center of the aisle was wet footprints. They not drying, they were wet, like it just happened. And I said nobody was there. I was the only one in there. Scared the shit out of me. I didn't go get what I went in there for. I just locked the door back up and went back. That's just one thing of many that, I've had quite a few strange things happen to me, like that. I don't know what it is, but there's something happening on the paranormal front. Maybe that's why I'm paranoid, because I believe in the paranormal. Okay, I don't know. Even when the cats did it, when I had the cats here, and even her dog when it lived here, with all of the cats done it, and the dog, they would stare off, sort of like down the hallway, and they would just look and stare. And I'll look, and you don't see anything. But animals, or dogs and cats, can sense that shit or see it. I don't know if they can see it or not, but they know something strange is going on. I've had that happen quite a few times too. So I'm just saying that's the kind of stuff that I have nothing. I mean, I've had no ghost come actually in front of me, per se, but I know there's something strange going on. So, and of course I'm a believer. I know people laugh at me, but I believe in Bigfoot too. I know it's a big creature, but you think somebody would see it, and with all the drones and cameras and shit, you think somebody would pick it up. Now, are they paranormal? Or are they extraterrestrial somehow, that they can sense all these stuff that we're trying to do to find them? I don't know. So, but they're there. They're there. When you walk, see, and you say, well, I've been hunting in the woods for years. I've never seen one. How often have you seen a mountain lion? Normally people only see mountain lions when they're ready to attack you. Bigfoot can hide behind a tree because of the color of his fur and shit. You don't even see him. So I'm just saying. And like just down the road from here, where the state forest is, where my uncle and aunt's farm used to be, that the government bought off them because they were going to turn it into a reservoir or lake, but they never did. But for miles and miles back through there, it's empty. And you drive down through there, there's some weird shit. There's plenty of places for them to hide. So
Sounds like that's the real reason they bought it. Keep people out of there.
Yep. Could be. It very well could be. There has been no forensic evidence to prove Bigfoot. Yes, there has actually. But the science, the people the scientists who don't believe in it said that their scientific stuff that they had a bunch of DNA that showed that they had, what was it,
animal or something like that.
Yeah, something. It's high, but the scientists now, that's all wrong. It got contaminated. They made all kinds of excuses. They don't want to believe it.
There's been several people that have done it though, so I know what you're talking about roughly, but there's also other people that have submitted it and done blind submissions. Therefore, you get better results. Basically, if you tell them what you're looking for, then apparently they don't want to do it, or whatever the case. Yeah. So if you do it blind, then they don't know, and that's where they keep coming back with unknown mammal or something like that. So there's a collection of stuff out there, but yeah, it's what people want to believe. I don't know. I believe personally the whole Bigfoot deal. I don't know if you want to call it Bigfoot, whatever, but I think there's something out there. I've personally seen something, so I don't know. So people can laugh, but I mean, you laugh all you want. I'd laugh too, but if you actually see something, you might feel different. So, so that's all I got to say, really. So, all the conspiracy stuff, why, where, who, I have no idea. Yeah, no idea. So, I mean, look at every time somebody makes a new invention, a car that runs on water or this or that, somebody gets killed and, they suicide themselves or disappear. So there's been a lot of strange things that our government does. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe people do get video, stuff like that. And, next thing you know, all your data is corrupted somehow, so strange things can happen.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, to each their own. Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know. Where are the skeletons? Tony said. I tell you what. Uh, there hasn't been many elephant skeletons found because elephants go off to die normally unless they're shot by poachers and shit. But if an old elephant knows his time is coming, he wanders off somewhere and dies where nobody can find him or see him. That's all I'm saying. It's animals work in mysterious ways. If it's not an animal, though, I don't believe. I believe it's, it's definitely got some human in it. How much is the thing that they haven't figured out yet? But according to all results, it's quite a lot. So, but that's my take on it. Anybody can have what they can believe it or don't. But how do you know in 1,000? I mean, yes, dinosaurs were what? Thousands, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 years ago. And they've only been finding them since the 1800s, and stuff. So maybe in 10,000, 20,000 years, people will start finding the dinosaur, the Bigfoot fossils,
Yeah, and another thing to remember here is if it's not unknown species, it usually gets categorized as unknown. So there could be God knows how many skeletons or pieces of something sitting in the Smithsonian or wherever else they like to put stuff that just are tagged unknown.
Yes. And I've actually was researching something. I mean, when I say researching, you're looking online, so you could be a lie to start with. But there's case studies where they found going back early, back there in the 1920s or 30s, they sent stuff to the Smithsonian, and they said, "Oh, we never received it," or stuff like that. It's more than locked up in their goddamn basement because they don't want us to know about it.
It's like the whole COVID thing where all the expected doctors that had a different opinion were all turned crazy. And yeah, I don't know. Discredited, even though they were fine up until that point. So I
even get off of that. Get on to extraterrestrials. And I've said this on here before. For 1,000 years, or however long, 2,000 years, however long man's been around, right? Yes, we stuff was invented, but our evolution was goddamn slow up until 1947. Was that when crashed in New Mexico, Roswell? Think about this. From then on, I'm not saying it's Roswell itself, but from that time frame until now, look how advanced we have become. In sort of like an 80-year period, we've advanced more in 80 years than we did in 2,000 years. You ain't gonna tell me all of a sudden we became fucking smarter. I think it's, they were doing that reverse engineering shit and stuff they found. And I believe that too. Does that make me weird? But, you can tell I got a lot of time on my hands to think about this kind of shit, you know? So, but think about that one, guys. In 80 years, we've advanced more than we did in 2,000 years. And the amount of stuff we have, the electronics, and everything like that. It's just unreal. You know? I mean, when we flew to the moon, I mean, this phone is more powerful than the computers they used to fly to the moon. So, I mean, where's all this technology coming from? How have we got this smart so fast is what I want to know. You know? Tony says, oh, E.T. is real. Well, think about it. It's, you know. Anyway, my time is up. I can waffle on about stuff like that for hours. But Tony's the only one that's participating in the chat. Everybody else is either left or just listening. Listening to that crazy fool. Listen to him. You know? Now, I'll say it again. If anybody's got any topics they want to talk about, just drop me an email. And I'll bring them up. You know? So, I don't have a problem doing that. You know? Or if you don't have a topic or you think there's something you know, if you got any ideas what we can talk about, throw it out there. I like talking about guns, but to be honest with you all, I feel that I don't know enough about firearms to actually hold an intelligent conversation. You know what I'm saying? All I know about guns is what I've learned since 2016. So, I mean, I'm just still a baby. You know, besides my 22 lever action, and personally, I don't call a 22 a fire. Yeah, it's a firearm, but it's more like a toy, I think. You know, it still kill you if you hit you in the head with it and shit. But I mean, like the AR-15. I mean, that's the only rifle I own. You know, I call that a real rifle. I don't call the 22 a real rifle. Is what I'm trying to say. But you know, so I don't know anything. There's loads of guns I don't know anything about. When I hear people talking about guns, I have no clue what you're on about. I normally, or you know, try to remember it, and then when I'm sitting down watching TV, I'll start looking them up, see what you guys, you know, were going on about. So that's why. I mean, so if you got anything you guys want to talk about with guns and shit, give me an idea, and I can research it, then use that to talk about. You know, any help you want to give me, or if you like me just rambling on like I'm doing right now, I can do that too. Because it is called Rick's Life as I see it. So it's the way I perceive life, my life, not necessarily yours, but mine. Tony said 22 is number 4 on the list of making bodies lists like last body. Oh, making bodies. Last I looked. Oh, number 4 in guns that killed people. Yeah, I mean 22s are used a lot overseas in Europe and shit. You know, they really are. And I said 22 can kill you. Ain't no two way. I don't want to be shot by one. You know, but I'm just trying to me, a 22 rifle. I guess that lever action. It's a lever action because I've always wanted a lever action. You know, make you feel like a cowboy or whatever. But it always reminds me. I said I never handled guns. I used to have a BB gun when I was a kid on the farm. You know, and that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a BB gun. You know? So. Anyway, the quiz. The quiz for next, when is it? The drawing is on the 3rd of July for the swag pack. So we still got another 2 weeks to go. The question was, it's an easy one, back to the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning movie. I've watched it about 5 times now. No, 4 times. You know, I just find it, I just like the action in it. You know, but anyway, back to the Arabian desert scene. The woman, what was her name? Isa False, whatever her name is. I want to know, what was the sniper rifle did she use? Make and model is what I want to know. So email me at rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. And get it here by noon time on the 3rd, and you'll be in the chance for the swag pack. I'm talking about it like last week or the week before, when because Jacob won it, and I mailed it out on the Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday. Took it to the post office at 8:30 in the morning. Took it to the post office. Now he only lives in Evansville area, which is about an hour from me. You know, he had that delivered Wednesday, the following day, and that's your post office for you. I was amazed. You know, it's unusual for the post office to do shit like that. But then again, it's in the state. But then I thought about it. All the mail from here, you know, like Birdseye, Eckerty, and Jasper, anything in this part of Indiana, all the mail gets sent to Evansville sorting office. So, you know, so I can imagine that since he's got a zip code that's in the area, so maybe that's why he got it so fast. You know what I'm saying? So you worked once in Evansville, Tony? Yeah. Oh, you woke up in Evansville once. No idea how the hell I got there, but the 2 sisters I was in bed with told me I rode home with them. Yeah. Yeah. Evansville, I mean, it's almost right there on the Ohio, near the Ohio. It's way down south from me. I say an hour. You know what I said? I'm not actually, I believe actual Louisville in Kentucky is maybe 5 or 6 miles actually closer than Evansville, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. So, I mean, we're way down here at the bottom of Indiana. So where the nice weather's at, you know, and the rolling hills. We still have tons of corn and cows here, but not like a lot of Indiana's flat. You know, when you start going further north, it sort of flattens out as it's heading towards the Great Lakes. You know, but here we got rolling hills, so it's nice here. Oh, woke up fully dressed. Oh, yeah, okay. We got to keep it clean for the kids. Totally. Anyway, you got anything to close out with, New York?
No, not really. The people heard it here.
Yeah, you heard it here.
So that's about it. Keep an eye out. You never know.
That's right.
Could be Bigfoot, could be the secret agents, but they're always looking for you.
Yeah, and the extraterrestrials are going to take you up into their spaceship and do some, some some probing on you. But just think about it, guys. The advancement in 80 years compared to 2,000 years. Think about it. So, anyway, with that, I'm going to call it quits. I want to say thank you to everybody who put up with me for this hour, talking from reload into to UFOs. This is Rick's life. It's the kind of stuff I think about when I'm here. So it's amazing what goes. I mean, as I've always said for years, I shouldn't be allowed inside my head unsupervised. Anyway, I want to say thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So good night, everybody. Good night, Sabrina.